Noon. Here we are. It's 1 o'clock. It's a few minutes after. So I imagine we're going to have a few more people popping in, but let me just start by saying thank you for being here. We have a great variety of condos to look at today in Aurora, which is a little bit surprising because there are only 20 condo apartments for sale in all of Aurora. And a lot of those were clustered in a few buildings. There aren't that many buildings, as you're aware, probably in Aurora, but I think we've chosen some ones that are going to give you a broad overview of what's available for sale currently in Aurora. Okay, so let's get started. And I just want to start by way of introduction. My name is Sharon Parento. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams. And for the longest time now, several years, we've been doing these condo tours in person. We would actually take people around, show them the community, show them the different buildings, and really seeing is believing. And the reason we started this was because a lot of our client base are long-term homeowners, and they have a lot of fear about a condo. They have a lot of misconceptions about a condo. And like the saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And so we were able to show them exactly what these buildings look like, inside and out, where they're located, what exactly is 1,100 square feet, what does that look like? So a lot of people had misconceptions that condos are small, boxy, dark, noisy, and I think a lot of people have found that by seeing these condos in a group like we do, it's a really helpful learning exercise. So that's my goal for you today, is that you would learn more about buying a condo. And I have to say that what we've chosen here is a representative sampling of lots of other communities. We could find these same types of condos in Markham, Richmond Hill, Newmarket, Thornhill, Vaughan, like you name it. This is what exists. And it's basically divided by the age of the building and kind of the level of luxury that it involves, okay? So we're gonna start here by reading an MLS sheet. Now, this is a basic requirement for when you're shopping for a condo, because we really wanna make sure that when you're evaluating the condo, that you're looking at apples to apples, and there's a lot of difference. And every single day I have one of these sheets come into my email. Like, I have various searches set up both for myself and for my clients, and they're chock full of information, but you need to know how to kind of deconstruct them. So let's go through that quickly, and I'm going to teach you about an MLS sheet. We'll start at the numbers. The numbers are the most accessible way into this form, and this is the list price. This is what the selling agent is asking. It may not be what you pay. Sometimes you end up having to pay higher, sometimes it's lower. I'm going to suggest, though, that most condos in most markets sell for about 97% of listing. Okay, so we want to look in that ballpark range. It's listed at $659. Are they going to take $610? Probably not, but there's always wiggle room. Okay, I need you to know that. The other thing is the property taxes. This varies wildly. We have brand new construction where the property taxes that you pay as an owner could be about double what they are in older construction. There's lots of reasons for that, but basically it's that when those condos were built 25, 30, 35 years ago, the property tax rate was down here, and they were only able to increase it by small amounts, whereas the new developments pay current fair market value for what is property taxes. So when you are crunching the numbers on these units, you have to consider not only the list price, but also the property taxes. And then there's one other number that we always kind of get stuck on, and that is the maintenance fee. So many of my clients, just as homeowners, have a built-in resistance to paying condo fees. It feels to them like a waste of money. But the truth is, we all pay maintenance fees. If you live in a detached freehold home, you are paying for the maintenance. You just don't factor it in on a monthly basis. What ends up happening is we end up having these big big expenses every once in a while, like you need a new roof or you need a new driveway or whatever. But that's not the way condos work. You can't have 100 units with people in them and wait for the boiler system to break down before you replace. So part of what your maintenance fees goes to is keeping the whole building on a schedule of repair, replacement, rejuvenation. This comes into play in one particular building that we're looking at today, and it's a hugely important deal. The other thing you need to look at when you're look at the maintenance fees is that they tend to be higher in older buildings. And again, that's for a variety of reasons, but largely it's because they are all inclusive. So not only do they cover all the amenities, and you're paying for those amenities, whether you use them or you don't use them, they also include all of the utilities. So it's one check that you write every month to the condo corporation, and it covers everything. And so it doesn't matter if you are here, up at the cottage, down in Florida, in Europe, whenever that happens. Oh, I can hardly wait. But it doesn't matter. Your place is being taken care of, and somebody else is doing it for you. So no more snow shoveling, no more lawn cutting, no more gardening. You don't even have to worry about roof, windows, any of that kind of stuff. So those big ticket items are being taken care of for you every month. Okay, so that's about condo fees. Now, let's also delve into the other numbers that are going to be important when you start to seriously search for a condo. How many bedrooms? How many washrooms? I'm going to say that 3-bedroom condos are pretty rare. They are not that common because most of what we're seeing today is 2 bedrooms plus a den. That den is an all-purpose room that can be anything from an extra TV room, a guest room, an office. Sometimes it's even set up as a dining room. So we don't see too many 3 bedrooms, but we do see a lot of 2+1s. So that's an important thing to figure out. What do I need? What am I trying to create here? Do I need a separate dining room, or would I rather have a guest room? Then we have this storage locker. This is usually a big cage down in the parking, same level as your parking, and it's a great place for big, bulky items like, Christmas trees and snow tires and luggage. You could even store off-season clothing there in bins, right? Nice lidded bin. But this is an important thing to consider too, because we're always worried about the storage in a condo, especially if you're moving from a detached home into a condo. We also want to know if you need 1 parking spot or 2 parking spots. If you are in a building that only has 1 parking spot, but you require a second, what we can do sometimes is work through the property management office and find you some private individual who wants to rent out an extra spot. They might have 2 and they only need 1, or they might not drive at all. So it's a fixable problem, but it's always easier to be looking for 2 parking spots right from the get-go if that's what you need. It does contribute to the price of the unit. It is an upgrade to have a second parking spot. And it also, believe it or not, contributes to the maintenance fees. If you've got an extra parking spot or an extra large balcony or a couple of different storage units, all of that is factored in. Just a few dollars every month. It might be $20, $30 more, but it is something also to factor in. Okay, and then we have the size of the unit. So that's huge. We have this big gap between 1,400 and 1,600 square feet. Unless the agent who's selling the unit has actually listed down the square footage, I have to do a little bit more digging to find out how big this unit is. We have a couple of ways of doing that, but you can see here that it's 1,400 to 1,600 square feet, or 1,599. But the real issue is that this is a problem with these forms, that when we are uploading a new listing to the MLS, it has a drop-down menu, and we have to kind of choose the one that is closest to our unit size. So it's kind of a dumb thing about the MLS, but we always have ways of working around it. So in this case, the agent has rightly emphasized the fact that this is 1,404 square feet. That's huge, right? Most of us are living in homes that are not much bigger than that, if truth be told. So this is a great feature that this agent has highlighted, and we're always looking for that. Now, we want to consider some more in-depth tweaking of finding you what you're looking for. For example, what floor? What floor do you want to be on? Because if the higher you go, the better the views and the quieter the unit tends to be. There's less traffic noise. But some people, me, don't like heights, and even the most glorious spread out panoramic penthouse view is never going to entice me to be up that high. So lots of my clients say to me, I want to be below the 5th floor for sure. Some people even say to me, I'd like to be on the ground floor. I still like to putter in the garden, or I have a pet, and so we can search that way. We'll talk about this more when we get into our actual listings today. If you click on this picture, if you ask me to send you listings and you click on this picture, it opens up a gallery of additional photos to show you both the inside and the outside of the building, the amenities, the common spaces like gym or pool if there is one, all of that. So we're showing you 6 pictures of each of the properties today, but lots of times there's many more. And if we have a link for a virtual tour, which is sometimes just like a movie slideshow of the pictures. Sometimes it's actually a 3D walkthrough where you can go and visit each room and kind of get a perspective of the proportions, the size, the layout. So those are all media, multimedia features that we are increasingly emphasizing as we list homes during COVID. It's very important that you have a full marketing package available for potential buyers, because buyers who are out and looking right now are super serious. They're not just tire kickers. If they are taking the time and going and looking at a property, you got to believe that they are ready to buy something. Okay, then the south, in this case, south exposure. That means what direction is your unit facing? And in some buildings, it puts you overlooking train tracks versus overlooking parkland. You can see that that would affect the value and also the desirability of a unit. So we can also select for this when we're looking for properties. Okay, and then we have all of the client remarks. This is what the agent has written to market the property. It's their blurb. They want to emphasize certain features of it that you might not be able to tell from the rest of the form. And this is a way of kind of enticing you to consider this property. And it also tells us what's included. I'm going to tell you that in general, people don't move appliances anymore. I remember my parents, when they moved, like a cajillion years ago, they moved all the kitchen appliances, and but that's not the way we do things. Most of the time, the condo includes all the appliances that you see, all the light fixtures, all the window coverings. Unless it says explicitly does not include dining room chandelier or something like that. That's the rare occasion. But most of the time, it's everything that you see is included that is kind of fixed to the walls or to the ceiling. And then they also want to tell us about those things like a storage locker or an extra parking space or an extra big balcony that they think would be a selling feature. Now, we have some inside scoop on some things, okay? And this is really super important. When I'm working for my buyers, the best deal I can get is my priority. So one of the things I want to know is, how long has this been listed? It says it's been listed here 13 days. But realtors, when they're working with a stale listing, something that's been on the market 45 days or more, lots of times they terminate that listing, relist it again as if it was a fresh, brand new listing. So again, I have to do my due diligence and look into the history of that property to determine how long it's actually been on the market. Why would that matter? Well, I mean, you've got to think that if it's been on the market a long time, then there should be more room for negotiation, right? Like, well, clearly your price is not going to cut it. So let's come in at a lower price and see if we can't get my buyers a better deal. So that's one important thing. The other thing that you don't see, but I do see, is who is selling it. Sometimes it's not just Mr. and Mrs. Jones. That's the typical. Most, it's the seller, the resident who is selling it themselves. But sometimes there are things like estate sales, right? And we also have bank foreclosures where the owner is currently the Bank of Nova Scotia, or we have a numbered company who has purchased it and now is selling it. All of these trigger different thoughts in my mind. When we have an estate sale, I'm thinking, you know, this is basically found money for the family. Can I say that? Is that crass? But we're going to assume that if that resident has been there for a long time and now they're passed on and their estate is disposing of their property, they have maintenance, they have taxes, they have utilities. Every month it's costing them to float that property until they sell it. So wouldn't that be a great opportunity to come in under asking and try to get a bargain? We're going to see one of those examples today. So this is what we're going towards. We are going to be looking, you can see that the properties we're seeing today are a bit of a cluster. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sorry, I got trigger happy there. So this is one of my favorite buildings in Aurora. And this is one of those examples of an estate sale I mentioned just previously. This is Highland Green right on Yonge Street, but it's kind of set back from Yonge Street and most of the building is away from traffic noise. Some of the units overlook what used to be the golf course there. It's a really nice building and it is filled with mature long-term owners. Very, very, very few rentals in here. And that's important from a homeowner's point of view because I'm gonna think that people who actually own the unit are going to be more respectful neighbors than somebody who really doesn't have a stake in it. That's just my presumption, and I know there's always exceptions to the rule, but I'm going to suggest that this is a great long-term potential here. Look at the price, first of all. It's $600,000, and look at the size. It's almost, it says almost 1,600 square feet. We'd have to do a little bit more digging. But this is a fixer-upper. At $600,000, this is a fixer-upper in this building. So we're calling this the renovation opportunity. So it's got this huge floor plan, as you can see. It's a little bit fuzzy on mine. I apologize for that. But what we see is in these older condos, we have a proper foyer with a proper closet that you welcome your guests into. And we also have what I like to call the bungalow layout, where we have living room, dining room, kitchen, all kind of one side, and the bedrooms organized down another side. It does mean that you have a bit of wasted space with hallways, but it feels much more homey, okay? So this is a corner unit. So we've got windows on two sides rather than just one side, double exposure, love that. And it's in this really great building that has just done a total cosmetic makeover. So what we will see on the MLS pictures is the hallways in burgundy, forest green, lots of kind of yellowy oak. But what is actually happening is they are renovating the hallways, the lobby, all the amenities, and it looks like an upscale hotel. Why is that important to you? Well, number one, it maintains the property values. Actually, I think you're going to see property values rise in this building because these are huge units and they are all inclusive. So one fee a month is going to pay for everything, all your utilities, all your amenities. And it's a really great potential for somebody who doesn't mind taking on the renovation. So you can see what I mean. Those are original or close to original bathroom features. This has got broadloom and kind of the California, the Florida ceiling. All of this could be ripped out and redone. Would it be cheap? No. Would it be easy? No. But if you had a 10-year plan, you would make your money over in droves. Number one, by the natural appreciation of these units. Number two, by the improvement of its direct and immediate property value. So what would it cost you to renovate a property of this size? You've got 2 bathrooms, a kitchen, and total flooring, paint. You're even allowed to pull down some of the walls and make it more open space. You can't change it from a 2-bedroom to a 1-bedroom, but you could do a lot in that kitchen. And it might cost you upwards between, depending on exactly how much you do, it could cost you from anywhere from $75,000 to $125,000 to do this fully, and several months. Like, let's not lie about this. This is not a 3-week kind of turnover. This is something where you purchase the property and you wait till it's renovated before you move in. What's the advantage? The advantage is that you get it the way you like it. We're going to see a renovated property right after this, and they are taking a profit on this property. They've done lots and lots of work to this property, and now they're selling it for a profit. So this way you keep the profit. This way the design is in keeping with what you like. We've been doing this long enough to see that a lot of condos that have been renovated are so glitzy, so fancy, that you can't imagine that anybody would actually live there. Okay, let's look at that. Let's look at the next one. So this is the next one. We've gone from $599 to $899, from $600 to $900, $300,000 difference. It's the same unit, it's the same size, it's the same layout, but it has been gutted. Let's look. So you can see it's already very fancy. So that's the lobby that's getting a makeover. But this is the same building with all the same benefits, but this is what we would call a turnkey. And it's been done super high end. Now, $900,000 for a condo? Yeah, but it's a lifestyle. This is something you never have to worry about. You're not paying somebody to mow your lawn or shovel your driveway. This is definitely upscale living for Aurora. And I'm going to predict this is going to take a long time to sell. Because, you can buy a detached home in Aurora for this price. This is obviously not a budget friendly option, but it is a very luxurious condo. Do you like it? So when you purchase something that's been renovated, you have to like what they've done. I just know that most people, they look at it, and if they didn't like something, they would be so reluctant to pull it out. But look, they've made some wise choices. I don't think anything is too over the top. We've got the nice kitchen with quartz countertops, new cabinetry, obviously new high-end appliances. We've got wide plank, light colored floors. I think that's a really good choice for what's the modern aesthetic right now. It's not too over the top. And we've got that nice luxury bathroom it has also a shower and the standalone tub. Okay. So if your priority is moving into something that's completely done, you don't want to have to pick up a paintbrush, you don't want to have to pick up a hammer, you just want something easy, convenient, and luxurious, this is a great option to consider. Okay? So the difference between them is, one of them you have to be willing to put in some blood, sweat, and tears. The other one is completely turnkey, and you can see the difference in the price. So let's just do the math. The first one was listed at $600. We're not going to pay $600, are we? We're going to pay $575. Let's just for fun say we're going to pay $575. Then you put in $125,000. That brings you up to $700,000. Have you made money on this? Yes, you've made money on this. We see what fully renovated units are selling for. So that's clearly what's going on here. Okay, so I like doing the math for my clients because it really helps you to decide, what your options are, right? Okay, let's move on. This is 15277 Yonge Street, and this is one of my favorite buildings too. I know they're all my favorite, but this one is really nice. It's right at the corner of Yonge and Wellington. It's the Centro building. It was the first so-called luxury building in Aurora. They've had a heck of a go of it lately because they had a lot of problems with the balconies. And so the balconies had to be completely redone. I think they actually went back and sued the builder to get some of because there was a problem with the waterproofing. and the concrete started to age prematurely. So all of that is being remedied. And of course, with COVID, a lot of that shut down, but they are back in the swing of things again. And this is a really pretty unit. I've seen this unit, I've been in it before COVID, and that gives you an indication of how long it's been on the market. It's actually been on the market, gasp, it's been on the market 450 days. 450 days. Why is that? Well, again, a lot of that has to do with COVID, and the price was originally at $850 in 2017, and now look at it, it's $700. So this is a really pretty layout. This again has that bungalow layout rather than what we see in other condos, which we call the split layout, but I'm going to explain that to you. First of all, we have, this is what I like about this. For somebody coming from a detached home, it has all the feel of a home because it does have that bedrooms organized down one hallway, and it has a balcony off the master bedroom. How sweet is that? I really like this unit. And then it also has a proper, vestibule, and directly ahead of you as you come into the foyer there is that you have a little den. Could be an office, could be a separate sitting and reading area. Couldn't really function as a guest bedroom because it's quite open, but regardless, it's a separate area. And then we also have a separate dining area. Not a lot of the condos do. It's only because this is a pretty large unit that we actually have this separate area for a dining room. Most of the condos that we look at that are around the 1,000 square foot mark, they don't have that dining room. It's almost like you cut it right off. You just have a great open living, dining, kitchen, everything all in one. But in this case, if you have a dining room that you want to preserve, like you like that idea of a formal separate dining room, it not only has a dining room, it also has a balcony off the dining room. So nice. So let's look at this. This is sweet. This is such a nice unit. And it was so beautifully decorated. Right now it's actually vacant, and it has been for quite a while, but this has a lot of potential here. Okay, there isn't a condo tour included because it is a big vacant box right now. But if you wanted to see it in person, guess what? We're back to doing showings, so just let me know, reach out. Okay, so that's the Centro at Yonge and Wellington. Gorgeous, 2-bedroom, 2-washroom, living room, dining room, 2 balcony, the whole. Oh, this is important to me, may not be important to you, but this allows barbecues. So I can't imagine going through a summer without a barbecue. Not all condos do, but this one does. Now, this one is a really out of the box kind of condo. I'm gonna suggest to you that when most people hear the word condo, they do think of condo apartment. And most of the time it's high rise, right? Well, in Aurora, they've had a very strict height limitation to new construction. So nothing is over 6, 7, 8 stories. And this one is a condo, but it's 2 stories. So your unit actually has stairs going up to the bedroom. So it gives you all the feel of 2-story living, like a townhouse, but in a building that is completely maintained for you. And this, I love this building. This is the Wells Street Schoolhouse condos. And why I like this building is because it's not cookie cutter. Every unit is a little bit different because they're working within the constraints of a pre-existing building, right? So they've architecturally adapted each of the units to, the limits of the property, but it's so nice inside. The construction quality is amazing. The units have this hard loft feel. Do you know what I mean by that? We have things like exposed brick in some of them. Some of them, all the ductwork for the heating and cooling is visible, just like you were downtown in the Distillery District or some trendy, King West neighborhood. We have all of this downtown vibe, but it's in Aurora. So the price is way lower, and it's really close to things like the farmer's market or Yonge Street for shopping or walking to the GO station. I love this building just because it's so unique. So let's look inside. So this is, okay, I don't know if you can see it or not, but you see, this is the front entrance into the building on the right-hand side there, the old schoolhouse preserved. And I don't think you can tell from this picture, but see those picture windows to the left of the entrance? Not all of those have glass in them, because on certain of the units, they have used these original windows, but behind that is a little patio. So it's open to the street. You get all the band shell concerts for free, but it is still kind of private. Such a cool idea. But let's look at what we see here. This is new construction, very typical. We have the wide plank engineered hardwood. That's a big trend right now. We have nice tall ceilings, beautiful tall baseboards. It's got a very chic kind of aesthetic here. And this is a penthouse unit. So everything on this level has 2 stories. Okay, so let's have a look at it. Oh, again, yes, the barbecue hookup, very important, very important to Canadian summer life. So this is what we have here. It's a little busy, so take your time and let's look at it carefully. But what I love about this is we've got broad open spaces. We've got a nice upscale designer feel to all of the fit and finish here. That really nice engineered hardwood throughout. Smooth ceilings, pot lights, and upstairs, that floor has at least 2 skylights, which really opens it up and makes it very much more visible. So this unit has a terrace, and you can see that they've artfully staged it as an exterior living space. It's like an attic room, right? And in this time of year, I don't know what your summer's been like, but I've been spending as much time outside as possible in my backyard. So this is really has the feel of having your own backyard. So this is the Wells Street condos. I love them, but you have to be willing to put up with stairs, right? Because we have 2 bedrooms, a little kind of den area right at the top of the stairs. I've seen it turned into a little office. I've seen it turned into like just a wall of storage. Like I've seen different applications for that space, but these are really special, very unique, and a wonderful lifestyle. Now for the opposite end of the spectrum. So we've gone from some pretty, like that was pretty luxurious, those Wells Street. They don't have a ton of amenities, but everything is pretty luxurious and pretty upscale. This is our budget, our budget option. Now, if your highest priority is buying in at a pretty low price, a very low price, and you're not that concerned with luxury and amenities, they're here, but they're not fancy. They're pretty basic. Plus, look at, we have super low property taxes compared to some of the other buildings. Let's just go back and look at Wells Street, just for argument's sake. Okay, what's Wells? $5,000 a year. What's this one? $2,400. So literally double the price in property taxes. Why is that? Well, this is a much older building. It says it's 6 to 10 years. I think it's older. I'd have to do my research on that. But regardless, it started as a more modest property, so it has always had lower property taxes. But this, to me, is a great option. I've been in this unit. I actually went to look at this for a first-time buyer. And so I'm very, very familiar with this building. We went and looked at everything from the parking to the gym. The other cool thing about this building is that there is an on-site superintendent. He lives in the building. So if your toilet backs up and you need a source of somebody who can help you, there's somebody right there. You're not calling into some downtown corporate switchboard. It's right there, and lots of help. It's a nice mixture of older people, younger people, but let's look at this unit. That's the lobby, pretty basic, nothing too fancy. You see the ground floor retail commercial space, all good. But this is what we call the penthouse. Well, the unit isn't any bigger, but the ceilings are taller on this 5th floor. I think it's the 5th floor. So I've been here. This is actually owned by a realtor. I'm pretty sure she or he bought it as an investment and rented it out. And these pictures really don't do it justice, I have to tell you. There's the kitchen, and behind the kitchen there is a laundry room and storage room. And the rest of the unit, you can see, but what I really loved, and again, we can't really capture the pictures to the best, is these hardwood floors. They're really, really nice. It just gives a warm glow. And if I was to take you into this unit, the thing that you would notice too is that it faces southwest and it gets a ton of light. And these don't have balconies. So if you're a balcony person, you don't get a balcony with this one, but we do get skylights. And so we had all the lights turned off and the place was still beautiful and bright, even though the windows are up just a little bit higher because we are on the penthouse. So I really, really like this unit. And I was hoping my client would purchase it, but no luck so far. Okay, so also, if you were looking for an investment property, this is a great option. Really super nice. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you about this, is that this is that split design. And so we have a living room, dining room area in the middle and a bedroom on either side. The advantage to that layout is that there is no wasted space. Isn't that great? Like there's no, every square inch is being used. So that's why they build new construction that way, to maximize the floor plans, which tend to be smaller. Okay, I think I labeled this one the Sweetheart. Do you see what we're doing here? We're trying to give you a combination of older, newer, high-end, budget, renovated, unrenovated. Okay, so this one is in one of my favorite buildings for mature adults. This is John Westway. I think it's called, oh, I can't remember. I'm got many words going through my head. The Ridgewood. This is Ridgewood 1. And it's kind of perched up on a hill and looks south over Aurora, looks over the Aurora Seniors Community Center. There's the woodlot to the west of it. It's a really beautiful building and so nicely appointed inside. I'm calling this the Sweetheart because it is such a nice building. We have this total nice walk-in area. I just want to double check which one I'm on. Let me just move my dialog box here. Yeah, 225. So we're on a lower floor. We have great amenities. Look at that hallway. It's so nicely maintained. The staff are super friendly. We often come into the unit, or into the lobby here when I'm showing these properties, and there is a card game going on. Well, you know, not since COVID, but previously it was a very social, active community in there. And the swimming pool that's out front is gorgeous. Saltwater outdoor pool. So this is a very, very, very nice building. I actually have one of my friend's mothers lives in this building. And so I've seen firsthand what it's like. And this building, why I've called this the Sweetheart is because it's not too expensive. It's within the realm of what most of my clients are looking to purchase in terms of square footage and price. But this has that den, the very, very important den. Since we can't find 3-bedroom condos under $1 million, let's make the best of the space that we have. So again, we have the open living room, dining room area. Like it's like living room, kitchen in this way, in the way they've got it configured here. And then what I've seen that den be used right now that has a desk is that can be a formal dining room if that's what you want. They've used it as an office because so many people are looking for work from home space. But again, we've got smooth ceilings, nice molding, good hardwood throughout, and a really gorgeous building that is pretty close to everything, including the retirement community that is right next door. So you can live here, live here for 20 years, and when you're ready to have somebody else make your meals and take good care of you, then you can go across the street. Okay, so I like this building very much, and this is a very usable floor plan. So I've called it the Sweetheart. Okay, this kind of rivals that. I'm going to tell you, this is more money, a little bit smaller actually. Does that make sense? Well, this is totally tricked out. This is a ground floor unit. Remember, we talked about one of the things you get to choose is how high up you want to be. For some people, the idea of having a ground floor unit is a wonderful transition from having a backyard to not having a backyard, or having a space, a green space that somebody else takes care of. Let me show you what I mean. So this unit has 2 parking, 2 lockers, 2 bedrooms, 2 washrooms. You just have to think of 2, okay? So that extra parking spot is definitely a value added. We've got a terrific layout here, split bedrooms. I think that's what I'm looking at. Split bedrooms, so no wasted space. Every inch of this 1,000 square feet is going to be well utilized. But look inside. So this is where the difference between 1,000 square feet and 1,200 square feet really super shows up. Now, see the living room? That is narrow. You really only have room for the furniture that you see there. It is a narrow space. It's like you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. If you want to have a good size master bedroom, which this one does, the living room is a bit squishy. But they also have this terrific formal dining room area. So they've kind of eliminated the eating kitchen part of it, and they've done all these built-ins. Oh, this is so, so nice. And look, you walk out through your front door, your sliding door there, to a terrace. And that gate, you can come into your own unit from the side street. So when you are hoisting groceries, you don't have to go to the underground parking first. You can drop off your groceries. This would be fantastic for somebody who, number one, if they were a traveler and they just wanted to be here, say for the summers, and they spent the winters down in Florida or something like that. This is a terrific option because there's no compromise. This is not downsizing in the negative at all. This is super luxurious, very well appointed, everything you need. Plus you've got this outdoor space that is so, so special. The other thing is that it could be for a pet owner. You know, you might laugh, but I do have clients who have purchased on the ground floor, actually in this building, a ground floor unit because they had 2 dogs, and the idea of going up and down a couple of times a day on the elevator was just very unpalatable. So they purchased a ground floor unit specifically to fit their lifestyle requirement. Okay, so this is what you get to choose. It's your life, it's your money, it's your budget. This is pretty expensive for 1,000 square feet, not gonna lie, but look at it. It's like completely remarkable in every way. Okay, everything's done so with such taste and refinement. So this is basically the same price as the condo. Well, it's not. I was going to say the one on Wells Street, but it's not. It's cheaper or less expensive, but it's also smaller. Okay, so this is ground floor unit. Lots of people request them. So here's an option. Let's move on. Okay, so this is a completely different type of product. I've been showing you as many different types of condo options as I can. And this one is a condo apartment, but it is a 65 plus adult community known as the Meadows of Aurora. Okay, a couple of things we have to notice here. Look at the property taxes, 0. For 2020. Why is that? It's because this is a life lease. You don't actually own your property. It's like a timeshare that lasts as long as you do. Okay, so that's kind of a funny way of putting it. But unlike a normal timeshare where you pay a certain fee, like you buy the timeshare, then you pay a maintenance fee and you get it 5 weeks a year or whatever it is. This is 24/7, 365, as long as you live there and you are capable of living there. So it's a totally different kind of product. And why would anybody pay $669 for this plus $1,150 a month? Okay, why would they do that? Well, the biggest advantage is that this is about 15% lower than the fair market value of the equivalent product that was just a straight condo. So why do people do it? They buy it because it's a little bit cheaper. Well, in this case, it might be as much as $100,000 cheaper than the same kind of product in one of the other buildings we saw. The other thing is you've got no maintenance, no property tax, and the fee that you pay every month is all inclusive, except for your hydro, which is really kind of strange, but it's about part of being in this community. It's not a budget decision. Life leases are not a budget decision. They are a lifestyle decision. You want to be in the meadows of Aurora. That's what you've decided. You want to be with like-minded, same age and stage homeowners, and that's the biggest advantage to it. So let's just read through this because this is important information. What does your life lease fee include? It's internet, TV, phone, maintenance, heating, taxes. So they say taxes with an asterisk. I'll come back to that. Heated indoor parking, car wash, 2 lockers, bike storage, party room, games room, fitness rooms. So it's really a super nice building and community to be a part of. Let's talk about the taxes. Well, we just said you don't own the property, so how could you be paying taxes? You pay a representative portion of the overall community's property tax as part of your fee. It's a bit complicated. There are some upsides, there are some downsides, but it is an interesting option. So this is actually a very large unit that has 30% too much furniture in it. Can I say that? If I was listing this property, I would have taken out a lot of the furniture so that it just had more sense of an open space, because it is a big unit. It's 1,227 square feet. That's bigger than the townhouse I'm sitting in right now, broadcasting to you. It just doesn't look that big because it's like, oh my goodness, my eyeballs are tired. The other thing is we've got a ground floor unit. So this is super interesting as an option, again, for all the reasons we talked about for a ground floor unit. Okay, so I wish I could just go in and pack up a lot of this furniture. And normally you can't actually buy a life lease condo in this complex from the MLS. You have to go through their sales office, and so they really, but because of COVID, they've shut down their sales office, and these people have to move, and so they have allowed them to use a realtor to sell it. But typically, you have to go right to the meadows themselves in order to get a unit. So this is an interesting option. Okay, I'm happy to answer any of your questions now. You can type them into the chat box there. We'll take them up in a minute. I'm giving you a little bit of a head start to ask some questions. So please type away, or if you think of it afterwards, you can always reach out and ask me. We are going to send you these listings. Melissa will be emailing you the presentation along with the properties that we looked at today so that you can take a closer look. I think you probably know this, but I just want to go back and show you for certain. See this MLS number here? It starts with N and then it's a 7-digit number, like a telephone number. You can always just Google that number and it will pop up this listing on a variety of different sites that you can pull up the pictures and look more carefully at it, okay? So there's a little bit of value added for you. So I hope you've enjoyed our condo tour. We do these every Tuesday in a different community. And we always try to give you the sweetheart, the bargain, the ground floor, the thinking out of the box unit, all of these different, that's kind of our template. And then I look for properties between say 450 and 900,000, 2 bedrooms at least. That's usually what my clients are looking for. But I have to tell you that condos on both sides of this exist. There are 5 or 8 1-bedroom condos in Aurora. There are $3 million condos for sale in Aurora. So like really, we're just taking the average of what most people are looking for. But if you need something exceptional, I'm happy to work with you to find that specific property. So please type in your questions, and I'm just going to finish off with a few of our other offers. I mentioned to you that you can sign up and attend one of our other areas. Please do so. You are more than welcome. And we'll select a fresh crop of listings depending what's for sale at the time of the condo tour. We also do all of our seminars now online. These, again, used to be in-person seminars where we would meet, I'd talk, we'd give you a workbook, we would have some refreshments, but we're not doing those right now for obvious reasons. So we've transported all of that into the web, and these are all available for you in the same kind of format here. For the month of August, we pre-recorded them so that you can upload them and watch them at your leisure. They're all about an hour long, and this is expert opinions, my opinion, on these various topics that really beset my downsizing client base, okay? But it's helpful knowledge for everyone. Anybody who is thinking of selling a home should check out our best renovations for return on investment. It's a really helpful way of prioritizing how to spend your money when you're getting your house ready for sale. Okay, so I'll let you check out the other ones. Please come back, please register, and we'd love to have you attend. Whoop. We also have this very popular offering called our 30-day decluttering challenge. And most people, all people, let me just rephrase that, all people, myself included, have way too much stuff. And when you're thinking about selling a house or moving into a condo or both, it's the #1 thing you can do to increase the price of your property, the sale price. So we have a little, it's like a game board where we give you a task and a tip every day. It's a 15 to 25-minute job. Get it done, and in the month, you'll be so much further ahead. Okay, so this is awesome, free. We never charge for these things because what we want to do is help you with powerful information to make an excellent decision. We also offer free, no obligation, property evaluations. This is done where I'm going to give you a range of values based on what has sold in your neighborhood, what is for sale in your neighborhood, and also the forecasted trends for your neighborhood. More and more, real estate is becoming about micro niches. Literally, your street versus the street 2 over can make a difference in what your property will sell for. And I have inside information on that, and I'm happy to provide that for you. No cost or obligation, just reach out to me, because so much about buying a condo for lots of the people I work with is decided upon what they might sell their house for, if that's what they're doing, going from a house to a condo. So most people would like $250,000 to $300,000 difference. So if that's your goal too, to help fund your future, then we can get you started on that by answering that question: what would my house sell for? What have you been hearing about the market? It's crazy. It is so back to being a seller's market, you have no idea. Okay, so it's a great time to consider selling your house. And then we also have a social group. This has nothing to do with real estate. It just satisfies my need to stay connected. I'm feeling quite isolated here in my 3rd child's bedroom that has become an office. I'm a people person. I like to be with people. So I started up a Facebook group, and we just, post silly things and COVID news and not COVID news and, online polls, the occasional recipe, just things I find that are interesting, and people post as well. So please join us. Look us up on Facebook if you're a Facebook user, and we'd love to have you. Okay, so that is what we have for you today. We are finishing with 4 minutes to spare. How great is that? Thank you so much, Melissa, who is our operations coordinator. She made all of this happen for us today. So I just get to be the talker, and she's the doer. So thank you to her. A big shout out to her. Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions? Doodly-doo. Don't make me sing. Trust me, you don't want me to sing. Okay, did you find this helpful? Did you learn something? Well, could we ask you to please refer us to a friend? Oh, that's the end of the slideshow. Let somebody else know about our amazing programs. If you indeed did find this helpful and amazing, please share it with a friend. We would love to have as many people on board as possible. we will be sending you this out along with some helpful resources about buying a condo. We work with first-time home buyers, we work with downsizers, and everybody in between, whether it's buying, selling, or leasing. We really do love to get your referrals. So help us out that way. If you're not quite ready, then I know you know somebody who might be. Okay, that's the only sales pitch I'm going to do, promise. Okay. No more questions? No questions at all? I hope that means I've done a good job. Either that or you're all asleep. So let's wish each other a wonderful rest of our Tuesday. Thank you for joining me. My name is Sharon Parento. It's been my distinct pleasure of preparing this with you, for you. Lots of good information, I hope you'll agree. And we look forward to seeing you another time. Okay.